Hey, everybody, welcome to the Almost Irish podcast.
Who knows if that was on time, but hey.
I thought I was going to get yelled at for a second.
Why?
I wasn't expecting that at all. It was nice to mix it up too.
Yeah, it's good that you started off, I think.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Dennis Rooney. Who are you guys?
It doesn't matter. I'm Mike Thomas.
I'm Daniel Jefferson Berry.
Jefferson, that is my Christian name.
And I also said Barry instead of Barry.
Now you've really fucked up.
Yeah. So I joined in the conversation. You were talking about your set last night, Rooney?
Yeah, he did really well.
Last night. I had a waffle set, ate a shit sandwich. I was telling Dan about it. I do a thing now. I've been doing it for like a year where pretty much my opening bit is I'm just like, you guys ready for the big race war? And it's lighthearted. It is lighthearted, and it's obviously in jest. But I was saying to Dan, when it doesn't go over, like it really doesn't go over. And last night, the audience felt a little stiff to begin with, and I probably could have made it a little easier on myself. But I was like, fuck it. This is the set that I'm working on. This is the set that I've been doing. I'm going to do the set that I wrote out. And trying to gain back their confidence the rest of the 20-minute set was hard work, to say the least.
A struggle of epic proportions.
Yeah, but you do something, Rooney, that, and I bring you up all the time, right? And I at my therapist office. No, I don't go to therapy.
I don't know if he likes me.
Yeah, I don't go to therapy. But
because he has something that's cheaper than therapy, guys.
No, but like I don't know, and I still don't know the answer to this. And you don't have to answer me because I kind of like the mystery of it now. So I always.
Why do you choose to be so bad at comedy?
What made you think you could be a comedian? I need to know.
Why don't you quit, Dennis Rooney?
Yeah. Why do you hate yourself? What you do on stage is a form of terrorism. No, it was. I always feel that you deliberately bury yourself, right, just to get back out of the hole. And there's nobody. I think Keith Anthony is a guy because the only guy I've seen who can do it. And you do it so well that you open up with not insulting, but like you bury yourself to the like, I'm not likable, but then you immediately win the audience back. And it's very rare. And you and Keith Anthony are the only ones I see do it. I don't know if you do it on purpose.
It's sometimes, well, first of all, I do like to do or try to do material that is both, I fucking hate to use the word edgy, but like I try to do stuff where it's like that someone would suggest like, oh, don't bring that up at dinner. You know what I mean? If you're out with strangers, don't bring that up. I'd like to do material that works around that, but at the same time doesn't really like pick a side or have a set. What did you say?
Work.
Yeah, stuff that doesn't work. Stuff that's way like you shouldn't be. I don't know.
Rooney's like, I'm an edgy comic. I don't like to do like funny stuff.
I don't like hearing laughs. I want to hear people think.
Yeah, I like to leave the room silent with their own thoughts.
I like. You know what I mean? Rooney's like, I like people to leave the room and go, I didn't think the library was open this late.
At the very least, if they're watching me and I'm not doing well, at least they can't be like, well, at least he was going for it. Like I'm swinging for the fences. I try to anyway. And I also have this thing I say where like I do enjoy kind of pushing the audience away and then pulling them back in. This kind of like, do you like me? Do you not like me? But I've said it before is that sometimes it's like we're in outer space and I give them that gentle push at the top of the set and they just keep going. Just
propel off.
Trying to get them, like, trying to grasp at their shirt to pull them back in, and it doesn't happen. And that's kind of like what happened last night. They were kind of a stiff. You know what happened too? There was a bachelor party front. You know, it's limited seating, so everyone you can really scope out everybody. It's harder to make people come together as a crowd because they're not.
You can't bury them. You can't hide them. among the
Yes,
masses.
exactly. They still
I
feel a
get
little exposed, I think. And I'm not making excuses either. I could have had a better set, but there were some things like that working against me. And there was this bachelor party front and center, probably like a dozen guys, but it looked like that awkward bachelor party of like half this table might be virgins. And like my uncle came to my bachelor party, shit like that. You know what I mean? Like this was not like they weren't hitting the strip club after this. This was probably
it was an arranged marriage, and you were talking at their bachelor.
It was a little awkward, and but I had fun. And Brendan Sagalow headlined. He did great, so the show was worthwhile.
Yeah, but be honest though. I don't think you're being honest about the whole show. Like, what was there a hole dug for you before you got up on stage?
No, the host did fine. The host did like 15 minutes, and
guest spot? No
guest spots. So just hosting me, and I was ready to, like we always feel. I'm going up there thinking like, all right, I'm gonna hit this into high gear now. You know what I mean? And then you get humbled, which is why comedy is amazing. But no, I wasn't in a hole. I definitely, and I started off, so I didn't even go immediately into the race war, the edgy stuff. I didn't even do that. I opened up with a very cutesy joke.
About how there are too many Jews.
Yeah, about how there's this planet and maybe Hitler. No, I said there's plexiglass up still, and I go, this is how the cream cheese at the bagel store feels. Funny little joke, whatever. Now let's talk about the race war, and I lost them immediately.
Somebody went, boo, I like cream cheese.
Yeah, imagine they start booing off the cream cheese, and in my head I'm like, shit, if they didn't like the cream cheese.
That was a bachelor party full of people that work at a delicatessen, and they were not happy. They did not like that you didn't shout them out.
Imagine you just become like we know these hack comics that they have a gimmick and then they sell out like to the point where you go like you want to quit comedy because you're writing real shit, stuff that makes like you write stuff that people don't want to predict the punchline or the story or they don't see the twist in it, and you get these hacks to go out and to do this just fucking awful shit, and they sell out, and then their family comes back the next time with their family members, and imagine that's you, and all of a sudden like you didn't do the cream cheese bit. I brought my uncle Ron wanted, I was telling him all about
the cream cheese Johnson. you didn't do your bit. I would love if your fucking big punchline, like if everyone came to the shirt wearing seen the show wearing cream cheese shirts, like cream cheese.
Cream cheese. Everywhere I go, even years after the quarantine, I have to request them to put up plexiglass every time I perform. I have to perform.
Yeah, that's what we need, guys.
I'm taking out fish out of my pockets and be like, this is how the cream cheese with lox feel.
Now, were you also though last night? Did you read like because? Here's the thing, like sometimes you'll do a show and people come up to you afterwards, like people that you know, by the way, not just like audience members, and they'll come up to you and you go like, fuck, that sucked. And they go, no, man, I thought you were great. You know what I mean? Like that's happened a few times. But you know yourself if you had a good set or a bad set. Much gooder set.
I had a much gooder set.
Yeah, they were nice to me. Like everyone was fine. They kind of acknowledged it because I acknowledged it. You know what I mean? I'm at the bar like that could have gone a little more swimmingly.
Yeah, but you always look like you're having fun on stage though, and that's one of the things I think that helps you get out of these holes that you dig. Is that you look like you're having so much fun, so the audience go like, well, fuck it, if he's having fun, then why can't we?
He doesn't seem very serious. Maybe he didn't mean the crazy shit he said earlier. You know what I mean? Like I also laugh at myself on stage a lot, which some people say is very hack or like what. But you know what? I'm usually having a pretty good time up there. You know what I mean? And
we were talking about that last night. Actually, people like laugh at their own stuff. Like there's a difference between like laughing at something because you think you're funny, or you're doing it because it's like you're cue to laugh. You know what I mean? Like people laugh because it's like your turn. Like. Or laughing. Something's about to make you laugh, and we were talking about like somebody has a unique laugh. If somebody has like a unique laugh, and you know they're gonna laugh at this next joke, you almost start laughing ahead of time because you're like, boy,
you're like, where is it? There it is.
Fucking comes, and then there it is, and then they don't laugh, and you go, what was that? And
there's a joke I do that I laugh at every time in my head. I just smirk on stage when I do it because the punchline, the joke, the setup is funny. Like you know when you get a nice joke where the setup is also funny and they're laughing at just the setup, and you could almost like leave the punchline alone, but the punchline is also funny. But I also have an alternative punchline to this joke that's just evil, and I never like I'll tell you off air because it's real. It's just like it's. You
evil. Won't say it on air?
I don't want to, and okay. It's like it's.
We're gonna get canceled.
It's an old joke. It's not that it'll get canceled. It's like I don't think some people will see.
I'm going to be doing this on stage next week. Mick tells me, and I'm like, it's mine.
Yeah.
It's an older show off with this.
It's an older joke of mine, but like I will start laughing before I say the real part. Like it's like if it was a DVD, like nobody buys DVDs, but if it was, it would be like you would select alternative ending, and you would get the fucked up, and all it is one line, and it's like, and I just laughed at myself because it's so fucked up.
In the back of your head, every time you're going, maybe tonight's the night. Maybe
I swear to God, I do. I'm like, do it. But it's, you know what it is? It's like, I'm above it. It's not that it's offensive. It's just it's it's low hanging fruit. It's not, it kind of is mean, but it's just not like a good, like, I don't know. It's something you would laugh at when you were 10. Now, this is not what the joke is, by the way, but like, let's say if you're in school and like you fucking, when you're 10 years old and there's like a disabled kid and then someone makes fun of like, and it's not even a good joke because you don't have comedic strength or ability and you just do an awful joke to make fun of a disabled kid. Like it's on that level, but I laugh every time.
So Mick mocks the disabled on his set. If you guys wanted to know,
if nothing else, Mick always wears it on the sleeve on this podcast. You got to appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no, he's going for broke. He has to say what he believes.
Mick's like, this is how I feel, and I'll defend it if you want. If we have the time, I'll talk about what.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what else? Here about it. If we're still talking about my set anyway,
we always are.
We always are. Is like. So, you have a 20, 25-minute set. Even those first 15, if those are like a wash, in your head, you're like, my closing stuff is super strong. It's tested. Like, I will end very strong. And I'd say 4 minutes in, 5 minutes into like my 8-minute closer, like 2-joke closer, I just started cracking up. I started cracking up because they weren't getting on board at all. Like, sometimes you have that too. You become like a satellite of yourself.
Right.
And you're laughing at your own misery. Like, you know how when you're in the back room laughing at your friend bombing?
Yeah.
You have to be able to laugh at yourself while you're bombing too,
Yeah, but like go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
I was gonna say you have like you laughing at it is like your way of being like, oh boy. And like you're like happy that it's this club that you're familiar with and they know you and they know you can deliver. Yeah, but like you wouldn't be as giddy about this if this was your audition spot at the strip. You know what I mean? Like if you're going,
kept saying to myself last night after I got off stage, like they've seen you kill. Like don't worry, stop. I'm like,
yeah. And then Ange walks over, she goes, "Delete my fucking number, Rooney."
What did you say?
Ange walks over, delete my fucking number.
Yeah,
Rooney.
it's like you're done here. You'll never work this club again.
Oh, yeah, if we need a waiter, we'll call you.
Yeah. Yeah, and but there are. Like, go ahead.
The cherry on top then. So I eat shit for like 22 minutes, get off stage. And
I like that you know the time. I like that you got it down to 22
minutes. Of course.
It wasn't even rounded off.
He deleted the recording.
I had the they were like, it was only the one show. So they were a little flexible. They were like, do 20, 25. If you're having fun, keep going. I was hoping to be up there for like a strong 25, 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Of like power comedy. It did not happen. And the cherry on top, this is the best part. I started laughing again at myself. Walk off stage, walk to the bar, like while I'm taking my phone off airplane mode, like I just got off stage. This young kid walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, Dennis, how long you been doing comedy?" I'm thinking about doing stand-up. I'm on TikTok. I make videos. I write a lot. And I was just like, the fucking timing is, I was like, dude, if you had any like percentage of comedic knowledge, you'd know now is not the time for this shit. Like, leave me alone.
How long have you been doing it? Because I just watched you eat shit for 22 minutes. Right. And I can do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like, how hard could it be?
That's what I thought you were going for. It's like, hey, I could do what you did.
That's how it felt a little bit. He was like, so how do you get in here? You know what I mean? Like if they'll let you go on stage, like
it wasn't not how do you get in here. It's like how did you get in here?
How did you get in here? Yeah.
So did you win a contest? Well, like where did you?
What contest should I sign up for that you?
How often do they do this contest?
And then of course I'm like, 10 years, and in my head I'm like, you're doing comedy like 11 years. I didn't want to say 11. I wanted to say 10 to make it seem like less.
Like Rooney's like, if I was fixing brakes on a car for 10 years, like the people should get to their destination safe.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Now,
I'm doing this a long time.
Yeah, I'm 11 years and I shouldn't be reading about my work on the news.
Yeah, it was a bad set. It was a good show, but I had a bad set. And then of course though, that kid sticks around. I have like 3 drinks, and then he's like, I have 100,000 followers on TikTok. I'm like, let me tell you everything you need to know about comedy. All right, kid. Like this is but you know.
Yeah, you need to tell that kid to fuck off.
Nah, he's a nice kid. I just, had a bad set 5 seconds ago. But it all boils down to getting on stage as much as possible. You guys know that. That's what I told him. Maybe he'll listen. Who knows? It was your show. I hope you had a better show than me.
We only got a couple of applause breaks. It wasn't as
yeah.
It was
Was it really a hot crowd?
Fucking great.
Yeah, they're probably the best crowds I think I've ever performed.
It was like for the first time in a long time, I was nervous to go on stage. Like nervous. There was something about we've been doing that private show every Wednesday, and that was fine. And and I kept the rust off. It kept me talking to people and reflexes being fast again. Went back at the comic strip with nothing but excitement. Right. I did a bunch of shows at the comic strip and they were fucking great. I mean, I think out of all the spots I did, I think I did 16 spots. One was just okay. Everything else was just great. Because having said that, looking back at the lineup, I had the sweet spot, like the third comic up, following great comics. So there's a great energy in the room. But last night, it was like, this was the first time I had to do 45. I think I did like 50, 55. And it was just, I was nervous again, which was nice. Like, it was a nice feeling. There was a bunch of people came to see me. Like, it wasn't one of those nights like, let's go to a comedy club. Oh, Mick Thomas is here. Because I was getting messages all week from I don't want to say fans, but people who'd seen me over the years, like, we're coming to see you. We're coming to see you. And I was reading these messages all through the week. And I was like, and then I got in my head, I was like, well, how much new material? And man, I did like 20 to almost 25 minutes of brand new material, not even tested, like not even like right there and then on the spot. And but fucking Dan killed right before me, because I was just like, I was talking to someone at the bar. I don't know who it was. I think it was DC Benny, because DC Benny popped down to the spot and he fucking murdered.
He murdered right before me, which was very intimidating.
Oh my God. I mean, DC Benny is a long time legend, man.
He went up there with like nothing. Like he just went up and was like, well, let's see where we go. And that's what happened. And it was really good. And he killed them. Like, fuck. I gotta follow DC Benny.
Yeah. So I'm talking to DC and we're catching up. Even though I've hung out with DC a few times, since this happened, and we talk online and stuff. But me and DC Benny were catching up, and then all of a sudden we would have to kind of like, hang on a second, what? Hang on, and you'd stop and you'd listen, because fucking Dan was crushing in the room. Really fucking great set. Tim Gage went up and did a guest spot before Dan, and he was so fucking silly.
Dude, first off, so you have Mary Capone, she hosted. Then you had Gage, then you had DC Benny, then you had me, then you had Mick, right? So Gage walks up, and Gage, in very Dennis Rooney-ish fashion, walks on stage, and for the first 3 minutes is screaming at Mary Capone, saying she's a super spreader. And that's how he started his set.
We had no glass, by the way.
No glass. We have no glass. He goes, look at this, a super spreader, this girl.
I love this already, because also this is a guest set, right? Like a guest spot.
Yeah.
First few minutes just screaming at the host.
And she had spent 15 minutes like warming them up to her, and she got them to be warmed up to her. And then he comes up in the first 3 minutes, it's him just shitting on her. And it was like hilarious. He also had like pretty untested material on stage. It was very funny. Like, people, they were a little shaky at first. They're like, oh, no, this guy's funny. And it just came in. He closed strong. DC Benny walks in, fucking kills. It was like, and then I think that's when Mick saw me killing. He's like, oh, I have nothing to worry about.
And
no. It's like, no, like, here's the thing. I always like when people do well in front of me. Like, it does not that it makes you work hard. It's like everybody's having a good time, and that spills over. There is a small concern when they're having too much of a good time. Now, what I mean by that is, like, you can get too much of a good thing, right? So if the show's gone on too long, like I remember I took John Truson to see Billy Connolly, my all-time favorite. And I remember like 3 hours in watching my idol, my hero murder. I remember just going like, dude, what the fuck? Like, come on, Billy. You know, I saw Pete Corielli once just murder to the point where it was like, I'm not getting off stage. I'm staying here all night. And people are like just putting their coats on and leaving. So there is too much of a good thing. And I thought there wasn't going to be, not that any of those guys were hard to follow, but it's like, there's going to be nothing left when I get up. Like people are going to start checking their watches now because we've been here a while. But
I also do think that could like, and listen, I'm not doing comedy nearly as long as those guys, obviously, and those are fantastic comedians. But absolutely. Like, I would be afraid if I went out when I first started. I was just starting to get a little bit of headlining work before the quarantine, and in my head, I'm like, let me just try to kill for 45. Like once I hit 45, like if I have a little bit more left, whatever, I'll do a little bit more. But like doing a 3-hour show, I would be worried people wouldn't come back because they'd be like, well, I don't want to go because last time we went, it was 3 hours long, you know?
Right.
Who wants to be anywhere for 3 hours?
But the people that go to a theater to see Billy Connolly are the same people who will go see Bob Dylan. It's not like, oh, I saw Bob Dylan last week. Now let me go to a fucking open mic at a coffee shop. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're there for Dylan. They're there for Billy Connolly. So, right. but there is too much of a good thing. You know what I mean? And that was like just watching that show. That wasn't really the case last night, but it was just nervous that everybody had done so well. And to the point where I went up with like, I was nerves and like so many people came back to see me. And I turn over a lot of shit, but like I had a lot of stuff that was not even tested. Maybe once on 1 or 2 bits. Like, and I think only one bit I did, which was like the Grand Theft Auto video game thing, which didn't even bomb, but it's just like, I don't like this bit. Like I shouldn't, as I started, I was like, I shouldn't have started this joke, but I saw it all the way through. And it was, but man, from start to finish, it was just fucking like the crowd was great. It was sold out. It was fantastic.
15, 20 miles away, I was just eating a dick on stage. Total opposite experience.
So the race war is coming, huh?
You guys picked a side for the race war? Don't worry, just being silly.
Hey guys, thanks for coming out. You guys pick a side for the race war yet?
What can you do?
Did you get your t-shirt? Did you get any new material out? Like, because it was the first, like, kind of cool.
I got one. That's the thing. As long as I get one thing out of the set, it was worthwhile. And I do a callback now in my Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter bit. Where I call back to the race war, and that actually got a good laugh. So if it got a good laugh on that awful set, I know at a regular show it's probably going to have a great pop. So, got something out of it. And maybe this TikTok kid will get huge and famous and be like, it all because Dennis Rooney that night. I saw him do shit.
I watched a guy eat a bag of dicks on stage one day, and it made me realize I could be a comedian. And now I'm a millionaire. Thanks, Dennis Rooney. By the way, he'll be featuring at the brokerage again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that those things have short lifespans though. Those TikTok comics, because they don't go into the trenches like we have. Like we started before fucking TikTok, before any of that shit. And we are just comics, and we'll bomb with our material and we'll die by the sword. You know what I mean? But these TikTok guys, and the guys I'm talking about, TikTok and fucking Snapchat people, and when they make faces and they do fucking impressions of the impressions that everybody can do. You know what I mean? Like it's never anybody like relevant. It's all fucking, and I don't want to shit on anybody because like I do impressions all the time, but never on stage. You know what I mean? Sure. I did one last night though, right? Didn't I, Dan? I did DC Benny.
Yeah.
And it went over really well.
Because DC Benny looked like he was fresh off the set of Jaws. And
yeah, he looks. Yeah, so I did that one, but I don't do impressions on stage. But like, and again, I'm not mocking because I enjoy watching them. I enjoy being around people like that doing impressions.
Yeah.
But these guys, there's no the entertainment is that you sound just like Christopher Walken. Like there's no punchline behind that. There's no thinking behind it.
Most impression comedians are pretty awful. There are a few who like have the jokes to back it up, and it's like the impressions are so good and so like interesting. Like Melissa Villaseñor, I think I got her name right.
Yeah.
She does
I wouldn't have even attempted that. I would have said the only Spanish one on SNL.
I don't even know if that's true now, though. I hear it's all minorities for the upcoming race war, everybody.
Sounds like you're complaining, but all right. That was Rooney this time, guys. Who saw that coming?
Yeah. He cut Mick off.
I was
like this.
The worst part is I'm trying to redeem myself because I got to ride this bomb out until Wednesday. My next spot isn't for 3 days, so I'm gonna have this stink on me, possibly further. Who knows? Maybe the set Wednesday won't go well. Maybe I don't. Maybe I've forgotten how to do comedy.
My next set's on Saturday, and I feel too cocky based off last night, and I have to remember that last night was an outlier based on the last time I did stand up, which I ate dick on. So you know what I mean? Like I'm like weird in this like peaks and valleys ride right now where I'm like, I don't know, it's the same jokes. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
I treat it like, and not to keep bringing back like golf, but like I treated it like my golf game where it's like, oh, I really ate shit in the front nine. I'm going to do better in the back nine, but I forget that I don't have the skills to do better on the back nine. It's going to be the same game. You know what I mean? Like no matter what I do. You don't change
anything, but you're like, I'll do better on the back nine.
Yeah. I've learned nothing from the previous nine, but here we go on this back nine. I'm going to be a pro.
Yeah, it's nothing like golf.
Yes, Mick. Thank you.
It's not. It's just fucking be an asshole or don't be an asshole on stage. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we had we had a blast. But going back to what you were saying earlier though about the laughing when comics laugh at their own jokes, we've seen people, the way to do it is that like, and it was pointed out by I think an audience member, is that some people, like an audience member pointed this out, that one of the comics on the show last night would just, at the end of their bit, they would laugh. In other words, like, that's the joke now. The joke's done, so now you laugh. It's almost like they added their own laugh track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, kind of like, come on. Like,
it's the applause light. It's that applause light when you go to like
right,
like a taping of where you're like a live studio audience. The applause light comes on. And there's a lot of comics who have that like trigger where, like,
it's like a tick.
There's Harry Friedman, this guy out here. I like Harry Friedman, but he would tell a joke and go at the end of it, go,
Barry, just naming names. Go.
I don't fucking care. He would go, he'd make like a noise, and people would know that was like your cue to laugh.
I don't know if he does that on purpose though.
I'm telling you,
that's a horrible noise. Like that's like when you ever like you walk down the street and someone just like tries to pull up a hawker and they don't care who's around them.
Yeah, to me it was him. It sounded like him holding a laugh back. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it always.
Yeah, but it doesn't come across like that though. It's like, I know the noise you're talking about.
Yeah,
but it sounds like a hawker.
Yeah,
I always found it to be more of a grunt of satisfaction, like joke delivered.
Like another comedian who'll do a joke, and if it works, he'll look left, he'll look right, and he'll nod, and then he'll go to the next joke, and if that works, he'll like start a light pace of the stage. And then it's then when finally it's like he'll hit it and he'll like open up.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, hey, and like people just look left, look right, like when a joke does well. Do you know who I'm talking about, Rooney?
I think I do.
Okay, so it's just funny. It's one of those things. It's like an audience member's not gonna notice it, but you could tell when somebody's like really when he's really doing well. The amount of like motion he gets on the stage, to the point that the punchline for the comedians is like, if he's gonna hit a joke, he's just gonna fucking thrust his cock in the air and fireworks are gonna go off behind him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. it's this exaggerated approach to like as the jokes are going. If he's getting a standing ovation, some old lady's getting kicked in the fucking face. He is living it up.
Well, I've told other comics, like, if I'm doing something like that on stage, if I have like a poker tail on stage, like, please let me know. And actually, I got burnt good at a roast one time. Someone nailed me with this. They said, I don't want to say the name because it was, anyway, I don't want to say the name. But
they've been canceled since.
They said, Dennis Rooney, were you punched in the mouth as a small child, and that's why all your jokes come out one side of your face? And I guess because I tend to talk like this. Yeah. And I was like I never knew about it. It was like when you hear yourself on a tape recorder and you're like, that's what I sound like. Yeah. I had that moment. When
someone at a roast, I think it was Laurie Palmentary at a roast. I I remember going. I've done the 2 like big Long Island roasts. So they're not big roasts, but they're big Long Island roasts. So we're like they sell out. A lot of people come out. It's a big deal on the island. And I remember just driving. I was like, what can anybody say about me? Like, I just tried to.
Yeah, of course you would say that.
All right, no, but like, I swear to God, I was like, what can this say about me? Like, you know what I mean?
And I'm too handsome.
But it was a bunch of like the same old stuff about a fake accent and that kind of stuff, right? And blah, 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 blah. But then Laurie Palmentari went up and she went, Mick, nobody likes you. And I was like, it was probably the best joke that had no punchline. There was nothing to it, but it meant everything. I was like, whoa.
But Mick couldn't help but notice how many people in the dais could not stop laughing.
I was just like, what the fuck, Laurie? Like,
yeah, it's dark. Laurie will be the one to be like, this is the statement. It's like just one sentence period. You had a really good joke about one of the comedians that I couldn't remember. It was like after because the governor's comedy clubs in Long Island like named one sandwich after one of the comedians. It's a Joey Cola burger.
Oh yeah.
You said something like they're gonna name the sandwiches after other people, and like one of them was like this comedian sandwich, and it was like the audience seems to like it, but it runs through the waitresses, and it's a fucking great line that like I feel like a lot of people just were like, huh, and it was funny.
Yeah, I compared a lot of comics to a sandwich. There was a comic on there. Joey Cola Governors has a sandwich named after him on the menu. And then what I would do is like I would take every comic on the dais and compare them to a sandwich. You know what I mean? I was like, everyone loves this sandwich, but he's known for taking ingredients from all the other people's sandwiches.
Yeah. He's a good sandwich, but it's mostly other sandwiches. Like there's a good.
I love a roast, man. Like you can't do them too often, I feel like, and it's got to be like genuinely people who are friends or at least work a lot together.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah, but like a good roast, like that Chris Roach roast, that was fun. That was a good. Yeah,
I went up when I started drinking on that after I did my set, and then Downey couldn't be there, so Kevin Downey Jr. wanted me to read his joke, so I went back up drunk as Kevin Downey Jr.
The only way you could impersonate Downey is that or taking a mallet to the head right before you went on stage.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I heard a story. What you said?
I was gonna say there's people who don't know who we're talking about, but it doesn't.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to move off it. But I'd read an article about Don Rickles,
Mr. Warmth,
Mr. Potato Head, otherwise known as, and he would talk about almost like is it Pavlov's dog? Pavlov. And he that's a cool name for a band, right? Pavlov. Yeah,
I think you should keep going, but right.
Pavlov. Anyway,
like
so but he would do like he had this run in Vegas, 4 shows a day, 5 days a week, kind of maybe fucking 7, I don't know. And it was like so he started to kind of like mess with himself because you do that many shows. Listen, when I do the Borgata and it's 1 show a night, right? And it's 7, like you're in by night 3 because you're on the same stage. I'm wearing the same uniform almost because I buy a pack of 7 V-neck black t-shirts, jeans, same sneakers, and a same jacket. So it's like it looks like I'm dressed the same. Like everything is the same because it saves me packing a bunch of shit. So by night 3, I'm doing a set, and it's like, did I just do this joke 5 minutes ago, or did I do it 2 nights ago? Right. So Dom Rickles is doing this, and he said so. He started fucking with himself, and so the first half, and every show had an intermission. So for the first half of the show, he did a social experiment. Whenever he did the punchline, he would just pat his stomach, right? Audience would laugh. So when he came back from the second half of the intermission, he would do a setup, but then a different punchline that didn't make sense. But he would slap his stomach, and the whole audience would just die laughing at a joke that made no sense. And he was like, "She's like, these fucking people are morons."
Punchline indicator.
Yeah, and it goes back to that laughter thing.
Yeah. What I had going last night is because sometimes with audiences too, you hit the punch and you wait, and then some audiences you got to wait a little longer, and then they come around and you're like, oh, this is just like a slow to get to the point audience. But last night I had a thing where I would hit a punchline, wait, wait a little while longer, wait even longer. And when nothing came, I'd just be like, so, and just move on. And that's painful. When maybe I should start patting my stomach for those situations.
They didn't read the waiting book, for the bus. The bus never comes. Like, all right, I guess I'm walking.
Yeah. Just start.
Now I'm like self-conscious of like what if I have a punchline indicator. I feel like I don't, but I might, and I don't really. I'm like thinking about it in my head, like what do I do? But I don't think it's gonna help.
You do. It's something subtle. You go,
yeah. Get it?
I'm pretty sure my punchline indicator is it's punchline. It's also a technique though, part technique. I think older comic might have told me this once, where it's like set up, punchline down the middle.
Yeah.
Like you're looking to the sides, you're addressing the whole room, but the punchline always goes down the middle.
Yeah, I've always heard the step.
I think that's forward. For TV. That might be for TV. I don't think that counts.
Yeah, but I think it's been bastardized throughout life, because I've also heard like, if you're on stage, like don't take a step back, take a step forward when you're telling your jokes, like dare them not to laugh. And it's like I feel like being funny can happen from anywhere on the stage. Like I just have like a, you know what I mean? Like at no point did any of like Shakespeare's comedies are like, hold on, before we say the funny line here, make sure you're dead center. You have to be dead center of the stage, otherwise no one's gonna.
Well, that's stand-up comedy specifically. I'm saying where it's like you do want to address the whole room, but I don't think you have to necessarily punchline down the middle. But I'd say I usually do. I'm gonna start doing my punchlines with my back to the audience. Set up, they see my face, but then I turn around and deliver.
Turn around, face
just
the
show
wall.
them that ass, Rooney.
Yeah, show them that fucking wagon. Let them know what they're working with. You just turn around, you face the wall, and you go. So who's ready for the race war?
All that humor and junk in the trunk. Where do I sign up?
God damn, Daddy thick.
So we talked about this briefly, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I mentioned it on when we all together on Wednesday.
Always,
yes.
Yeah. Which I put my green screens in the car now, finally for our next episode, maybe the week after.
We're not going to see each other for like a month.
No. Well, I'll figure it out. I'm going to see you, Dan. I think you said you might come with me on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
But I want to talk about that guy's pickup truck because I can't get it out of my head. The Long Island guy with the advertising.
Yes, the advertising line.
Yeah. So the big thing on Long Island is like to advertise on your pickup truck, whatever you do or whatever. And it was like, this is not the name of it. Lou's Roofing and Siding was the sticker on the back of it. But then it also said like, which my mirrors pull out. I don't.
Yeah.
Right? like would that stop? I know Dan does all his own construction based on being late last week, but like, imagine Dan has that on his car now.
Hey, not only do I have it in my car, that's my pickup you're talking about. And I still call it Lou's Roofing and Siding because I don't even know my real name.
But what goes through the mind of somebody who fucking does that?
Not thoughts. Like, forethought doesn't happen. Like pulling up to a kid's birthday party with that on the back of your truck. You know what I mean? Like you're like pulling up to like a family event. Like, oh, honey, I'll meet you there. I'll drive there straight from work. And you pull up and you back into a Chuck E. Cheese with my mirrors pull out, but I don't. And they just go, oh, Uncle Lou's a real piece of shit. Like that's what I think. Long Island's full of a lot of shitty people.
Yeah, man. There's so many bad fucking shitty stickers like that. You just look at them and you go, ugh.
Yeah. You can't bring that guy to a dinner party. You know what I mean? He's not going to.
No.
He's going to bring up the race war in earnest.
Right. Our then you see like our that sticker, you know that one?
Yeah.
With the pinky and the fucking the other
one and the stink.
Like someone bought, like he went and he bought it. Like they go to a mall and they usually sell them in those kiosks, or else you order them online. And he went, yeah, here's my $7. I want that. I want people to know that I do this.
Yeah. I hate the Instagram stickers on cars. Like no one's gonna follow your Instagram because you drive like a dick.
I don't like following you behind you in a car for 30 seconds. I don't want to fucking follow you online all the time.
Yeah, you can't drive. You want me to write that in your fucking Instagram profile, you dipshit? I hate the Calvin pissing on things. That's one that like I've always hated, and I see it all the time. And you almost feel like they go into an auto zone and be like, all right, look. I have a really weird question, but can you back me up? do you have a picture of Calvin pissing on a Chevy sticker? And they're like, boy, do we. And they fucking pull out a box of them. And he's like, oh my God, I'm not alone. And he puts on his fucking Mitsubishi. And you're like, you're a fucking idiot. I really
No, he doesn't. He says, the guy goes, you got to call ahead because we have no more of those stickers.
Yeah,
they're like hotcakes, man. Whoa, you are insane.
Listen, you can check the website to see if we have it in stock, but honestly, by the time you update it, it's gone. It's sold already.
Yeah, you have a better chance getting a PS5 on Christmas Eve.
What hasn't Calvin pissed on at this point? You know, he's pissed on
the sports jerseys, and you're asking your car to get keyed. Like, because the one thing about, go ahead.
It's so stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, every what else is Calvin gonna piss on? And then when you find out, like, the fucking creator of Calvin Hobbes is like, I don't want this to be merchandised ever. Like, that was like his wish. And it's like, oh yeah, well, fuck you. He's gonna pee on a Chevy. Like,
how about the shittiest merchandise ever?
Yeah. How about seeing something where you look at somebody's car and go, oh, they don't make good decisions. They're a fucking idiot. Like, don't ask them for advice. Like, that's pretty much what you're saying.
The only time I was offended by a bumper sticker was the other day. I was driving on the Southern State Parkway. I was driving home. It was in the middle of the day. And I overtook this car, normal, like a kind of Kia, like something like just like a lady would drive, very ladylike car. And I pulled up next to it, and taking up the whole window on the driver's side passenger was the fucking Queen of England, her head smiling. Oh, Dan, I was like, fuck this. Like, I was so offended by this sticker. So offended.
He rolls down his window, the words "inbred cunt" just being all over that on Southern State Parkway. Oh man, I always
go ahead.
Your hatred for the Brits, and particularly the royal family. I know you said we talked about it a little bit last week. You know, you got friends, of course, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Royal family, no time for them.
No time for them. But you know, and then to put yourself on money, like, you know how arrogant you are to put yourself on money.
Yeah.
That's why I hope fucking all this Bitcoin, all this shit takes off, and we don't. Cash is going to be gone, right? I think cash will eventually disappear, and it will just, then we don't have to look at fucking royalty or people on money.
When you pulled up next to that person, did you roll up your window to show Michael Collins just giving her the finger? Like, how does that work?
I didn't pull out. It was on the parkway, so it wasn't like we stopped in the middle of the parkway for me to tell her this.
You should have.
I should just slammed on
Cut
the brakes.
off, like, Michael Collins is a hero. Just slap her away.
I just want to get to the point with money in terms of futurism money. I just want to get to the point where we just have one blanket system and it's all credits, like in every sci-fi movie you ever see.
Yeah. It'll get there.
When are we going to use credits, and when are we going to start calling computers terminals? I need to sit at the terminal.
It'll get there.
They do in certain places.
I know.
Because you go to places now like
Barry, everybody. Dad Barry.
Like for the last few months, I've been going to, like, probably once a week, once every 2 weeks. Like, I'll go to Chipotle, and every Chipotle I go to now, they have the sign up either exact change or fuck off. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but
I thought they had that sign up for a second. I was like, holy shit, Chipotle's really.
They have an asterisk over the U instead.
Yeah, it's either exact change or debit or credit. That's it. Like, and there's so many places like that. You know,
I think we gotta get rid of change. Period. I don't understand the point of it.
Especially in Europe, man. In fucking Europe, it's like when they went to Euro, you go, the smallest note they have is a 5. So if you pay, like, if you have a 20 and you're like, you go into a store, like, you know, maybe I get a Red Bull and I get a Snickers and maybe this newspaper, whatever, and you buy that shit, they just hand you back coin, like, just, and then you just, in your pockets, your pants. But if you go for a night on the town and you're like buying a drink, my round, I'll get this one. By the time you go home, your jeans, like, you're almost like, you know, like the way the kids wear it nowadays with the pants hanging out low. And then when you come home and you put, like, on your dresser, it's just, that's why strip clubs went out of business in Ireland, because nobody wanted to fucking just throw coins at a
make it rain,
woman.
make it hail.
Yeah,
throwing coins at them. No, this is when I went to drinking in bars in Ireland, and it's like, oh, like, they give you change, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna leave this here. They started to figure out that, like, the Americans just leave the change on the bar. They don't pick up coins from the bar.
Right.
And so they started like giving all the change in coins.
Yeah, €2 coins.
Yeah, €2 coins. So I'm like leaving like a $6 tip for a $2 drink. And I'm like, something's off. I've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but you're an over the top tipper though too. You're over the top.
I am. I'm a very generous man.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't even. I'm not saying generous. I'm saying over the top. So I'm not even like saying, "Oh, good for you." I think you should look at your finances. If you had an accountant every week, he'd be like just crunching the numbers. Yeah, he uses one of these machines. Like, Dan, you're going. You got to slow down on the tip and that.
You don't have to treat every restaurant you go to like it's a bar in Ireland. You know what I mean? See, that's in Ireland though. That's in Europe. I get that, the euro, the coins, and I've been there, so I know what you're talking about. And it is kind of a pain in the ass. You come home at the end of the night, you sound like you got all these coins.
You're like this.
But when I'm in America and I go outside of New York and I go to a bar where a beer is like $3.25 and they give me back $1.75, I just get like furious for some reason. Especially if they give me a paper receipt. Or it's a weird number. It's not $3.25 because it's taxed or whatever. Right. So they get a beer for like $3.67 and give you a receipt every time. It's just like it makes my blood boil, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't go out like when I'm ever out of state. I don't even do it in New York. I don't go to bars. Like I don't go like shows done, hotel room. That's it. Like once in a blue moon, like when I go to Mohegan Sun, May 21st, May 22nd, when I go like to there's a bar in the corner that like you might go afterwards. But like my thing is like if I buy a drink, which again I don't drink, but like if I got a Guinness, if I was craving a Guinness, I leave $1 per drink.
Yeah, like that's normal at a bar.
Right. So, but when they say like, oh, here's $1.07, like I'm taking my change back. Like I'm giving you $1 a drink, and that's like to be fair. I don't want to start shitting on people like about tip, like bartender, like, but I worked as a bartender and it's like, there you go. Like that. Come on. Like, it's not like at least even a waiter has to run all the way to the back, get your shit, remember your shit, treat your shit right. If you come back up, like I've seen like waiters like come back, pack up and go like, they'll see the burger or whatever. And they'll go like, hey, Ronnie, he asked for no pickles, and I can, you know what I mean? Like he can see the pickles. He's on top of my shit. He's on top of my food. But a barman, like they even have, like they use bar backs over here. Like they don't even go up to the back and get their own. Like I'm out of this. Let me go. I'm out of bud. I'll be back in a minute. And like they don't do shit. Like they pour the drink. Here's your drink, and that's it. I watched them. Even in a busy place, I'm like, yeah, you're not getting more than $1 for doing that. And I'm only giving you that because fucking society tells me I have to. But if it wasn't,
that's the minimum. That's the minimum.
Yeah. You're a barman. Like that's not like even like the hot, attractive ones with the fucking tank tops and tattoos. Like if I give you more than $1, it's probably because you're attractive, and then that's kind of insulting to you. You know what I mean? You might as well have an OnlyFans if that was the case. I'm not doing it. Like I'm just here's your $1, and if you don't like it, fuck off. Like it's the bartenders are overly tipped.
Mick sounds like a fun hang at the bar, doesn't he?
Yeah. They get
He's a lot having this rant at the bar when someone's like, all right, don't worry about it. Like it's not a big
got one Guinness, you prick. Get the fuck out of here. No, but you realize they get paid like $2.75 an hour, right? Like that's why you tip them. Yeah,
but again, I don't want to turn into a whole fucking Mr. Pink speech from Reservoir Dogs, but
that's way too late for that.
But again, it is one of those jobs when you watch them. Right. When you watch them, like when you look at like McDonald's, and I know that's the example Mr. Pink uses, a lot of the McDonald's employees are standing in front of a screen and they're pressing a button. What do you want? You want these? Okay, bang. And they turn around and it's on a tray, very similar to what a bartender does. Very similar, but I got to tip the bartender. Like, again, I would rather give the money to the bar back because the bar back goes running to the back. He comes back with the crates. He's like spinning fucking plates all night. He's not jerking off two guys. He's spinning plates all night. He's working harder than the bartender, in my opinion. And I know they tip them out at the end of the night. So kind of maybe at the end of it, like the money kind of does go to him. But right, the bar, I've turned into bars at the end of the night, and it's just like a bartender, a barman or barmaid, whatever you're not allowed to call them maids anymore. I don't know.
Bartender. I mean, that's whatever. A word.
And they're standing there like leaning against the bar. And then you go like, can I get one? And then he goes, all right. And he pours the thing. I would give you more money if you did the thing where you put the drink down, you slid it down the bar. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'll give you can keep the extra 75 cents on top of $1 for that one. But in general, like I've been a barman.
It's like a fancy cocktail.
Yeah, but no.
Then they're kind of working, you know?
Yeah, but I've been a barman. I know it's not that hard of a job. I've been a barman at busy pubs. It's really not that hard.
Yeah, but society as a whole doesn't pay. Jobs aren't paid based on how hard they are. You know what I mean?
It's a service. They're providing a service.
Also, I don't think anyone's giving you shit over the $1 a drink thing anyway. That's perfectly socially acceptable.
No, Mick's upset that he has to.
Curious that other people are over tipping, in your opinion.
No, but my point is like it sucks that really doesn't suck. People might think I'm uncomfortable, but like for me to make eye contact with the guy and here's my change to 175 and I just go, there's my 75. You keep the $1. Like that's an awkward moment where the guy's looking at me.
You don't have to maintain eye contact.
I do. Like, you know, he's doing. It's almost that thing like when you. It's almost that thing when you go into a supermarket and they go like, "Hey, would you like to donate to to fucking kids' cancer?" And you go, "No, I don't like." And then they kind of like, "Oh, like." You think I want to walk into a fucking cancer ward and just plug it out and I'm I'm that fucking evil? Like, no, I donate to charity other ways. Like
there are listeners of this show that believe otherwise about you, Mick. I just want to point that out.
No. But I do a lot. Like I just don't talk about it. Like I donate to charity in other ways. And then you've got this fucking pimple face cunt just like looking at you like, oh, you didn't want to donate the extra 25 cents to fucking, kids with limps. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I do enough, and I want that 25 cents because if I give it,
you know why? She has to do a price check. She comes around the counter. She's got a limp. She takes a personal. Like, you piece of shit. I'm right here. It's for me. It's actually fundraising for me for my limp.
No, dude. Even I'm gonna run 100 miles on June 12th, and it's like I'm trying to figure out what because I was supposed to do it for help money raised for Carl Labov, but Carl died last week.
Nothing if not prompt, Mick.
You what?
You're nothing if not prompt.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to call it the good intentions run. So now it's like, all right, I got to figure out because I have the option now to not go. I'm not going to just go to the fucking bother of setting up and finding a charity to donate to, right? But I'm going to donate. I'm going to run for something, but I don't walk into a CVS. And she goes, would you like to donate 25 cents for fucking kids with wings or whatever the fuck they do? Would you want to buy a shoe and put it up in the background? It's like
God has already blessed these children with wings, and you need to give them money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Flying
you go and you buy something. You go and you donate $1, and then you get to write your name on a shoe, and they stick it in the back, and it's just all kids' names on shoes behind you. Like I don't want to give $1 to that because it all adds up at the end of the fucking day. And I'm doing enough for charities. It is. My point is, it's not against the charity, by the way. It's not against you want to raise money. I want to make that clear. And all of a sudden, Mick is Ebenezer Scrooge here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want everybody to get. I want to point out that the issue is that I get stared at like I'm an asshole for saying no to this when you don't know that I do other shit away from this room. That's the point I'm trying to make. Not that get out of here. Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
I would argue that this pimple-faced cunt doesn't really care. They're just required by their job to ask you. They probably hate asking you, but it's bullshit of these fucking corporations to make these people ask us. Just make a contribution corporation. Don't go putting it on your fucking customers.
Right. Are your employees to ask?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Is that then the government, the company gets to go like, oh, we made $100,000 donation to St. Jude. It's like, no. 100,000 people gave you their change. That's what happened here. So,
Yeah. And you get a big tax write-off for that too.
Yeah, stop and shop. That's not you. That's all your customers go out there and being like, here's $1.50. Go, take care of the kids. And you're like, look what we did. It's like you didn't do shit. You just
have you already picked a organization to donate to, or are you working on it?
No. A part of me wants to do just a GoFundMe, and then at the end of it, just kind of ask for suggestions and donate money. But for some, I'm a very paranoid person, and I've seen a lot of scams in my day that I don't want people. I'm sure everyone else has seen scams, and I don't want people to go like, "Yeah, guys, I'm doing a GoFundMe. I'm going to run," and all of a sudden, I raise 10 grand, and I go, I'll just give $4 to them. I'm not lying. I donated to the animals with fucking bad haircuts. So I kind of want to pick a charity and have the donation go directly to them. So I'm not in breach of any fucking, like, because I'm also nervous that if I don't file it a certain way, or if I send it or if the money goes through a bank account, and all, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not, and I'm not really that familiar with Cove. I don't know. So, I mean, who would you donate to? Like, here's the thing. I said it as a joke too, but like everything I've done to raise money for has either been the Make-A-Wish Foundation or St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And I mean, over the years, I've raised like thousands of dollars. I would say close to over 50 grand between both of them. And not one of them sent me a t-shirt. You know what I mean? And I'm salty about that. Like, not even like a thank you email, like, hey, Mick, cheers for, like, or they probably send they send me out a generic email, like saying, oh, thank you for your donation. And with the fake signature at the bottom, I'm like, give me a t-shirt, give me a hat. I'll get, you know what I mean? Give me something to say I donated.
Always comes back to Mick. The kids, and Mick's like, no t-shirt. What the fuck? Lick my balls, St. Jude's.
That's the only reason he did the donation.
And in need.
And Mick needed shirts for his workout, so that's the only reason he was raising money for St. Jude's. I don't want to buy shirts. You should send them to me.
Well, if you want, Mick, we could probably find you some shitty charities that only like pay out to the kids half of what they've given, but they'll send you a candle or some shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
The swag is good.
If I raise 10 grand on this 100-mile run, I go, look, you're getting 5 now, but I want a t-shirt. You're getting the other half. Or I will spend the other 5 on lottery tickets and give it to like the anti fucking charity organization. The one that the Charity Against Show one. Like, that's it. I'm sending it to them.
Give kids cancer. That's what I'm raising.
Shirt finally shows up.
Jude.
Shirt finally shows up. Mick's like, extra large? What kind of a fatty do these bastards think I am?
Then I got 100 miles. Think of an extra large, you piece of shit.
Yeah, it's not. That's all I'm saying. Like, I want to like, I don't know. Who would you, if you right now, Rooney, had to donate 50 grand to a charity, where would you send it to? Right now, you had to pick.
I think St. Jude's is always a good option because they just have the track record of doing good work and using like most of what you give them. I thought Red Cross was a good one, and I might be, maybe double check me, but I feel like they got outed as like wasting a lot of money that got sent to them. Like, I donated money to that. Huh?
A lot of them do. It's because they have to spend money on like marketing and whatever. But then you look at there's like a charity report card. So I would say like donate to like hospice care, because hospice is like 100% donations and they don't really advertise what they do. It's just whenever you go to a hospital, it's like taking care of people as they're dying. That's all it is. And it's just people.
Can you donate to that? I thought that was like the hospital's bill and they bill you for that. No,
not for hospice.
Yeah, but how's the t-shirts?
They don't have a good merch game. That's the problem. I would love it.
You don't see a lot of hospice t-shirts.
Here's what I imagine Mick wants. I think Mick thinks he's gonna get like an award ceremony one day, but I imagine like after every time he donates, they go, here to accept his award for Humanitarian of the Month is Mick Thomas. And then Mick walks up. He wants like fanfare, like people are shooting those little fucking guns out that have like the streamers that come out of it. I wrote a speech and I want you all to hear it. And he pulls out his notebook and like, oh Jesus fuck.
No, I want a letter that they go, Mick, we're going to fly you down to St. Jude's privately, private jet. That's where I want the money to go to. They fly me down. They give me a tour of the hospital and I get to walk up to some of the kids and go, I bought that.
Nice ventilator. And then you sign the ventilator because you're that arrogant.
I signed the top of a kid's bald head.
There we go. With a Sharpie. And then when they're buried, there's just the open casket. Now we better close this casket. I don't want a signed baby being buried.
I go to the cafeteria then for lunch and I get a sandwich like $2.75 and I go, Mick Thomas.
Oh, so you don't want us to keep the change? Okay.
Maybe a wing. Maybe put my name on a wing. That would be nice.
Mick, no tip, Thomas. Yeah, you know, I hear you, right. Mick. How much is it? I had a D&D character. I didn't think I'd ever bring this up, but I had a D&D character who was an orphan, and when he eventually made a lot of money, he went to the orphanage and he was like, I want to make a donation, but like, how much do I have to donate to get a name on a brick? And they were like, we don't do that. And I was like, yeah, but I'll pay for you. Maybe you start doing it now. They're like, no names on bricks. I was like, this fucking place has changed.
What happened to corporate sponsors?
Fucking Epcot does that, you piece of shit.
Yeah, you know what we should do? We should go to Epcot with just a chisel and just start putting our own name. Sir, what the fuck are you doing? I'm getting my brick.
I'm getting my brick.
Mick Thomas, St. Jude's.
No, I think if I had to on the spot again, all joking aside, I would definitely probably just go back to St. Jude's again. Definitely go back to St. Jude's.
Regardless of their merch policy.
Yeah, I mean, they've got goods. I mean, look at the founder of St. Jude's is Danny Thomas, which is my dad's name. You know, that's kind of cool. And the fact that like I've seen stories from there, like, you know, just people who've like lost all their houses, they sold their house, their business because they can't afford to pay for fucking. That's the fucked up thing too, man. That treatment for anything is that expensive. Like it's this. I mean, anywhere in the world, like it's just that. Like, is it that much money to fucking fix somebody? Like, all we are is meat. Do you know what I mean? Like think about that. We're bags of fucking meat. That's all we are. And is it like it doesn't cost that much to fix a car, which is steel and fucking iron and all fucking pistons moving and shit like that. But if you get some sort of thing in your body, it's like fucking, like I know someone who had to pay almost $1 million just for fucking treatment, like on a bag of meat. Like, where the fuck did he get off doing that shit?
If I could buy a new sun, perhaps I would try and not care as much about paying $1 million for it. I can get rid of my Hyundai. I can't. You know what I mean, like, you trade that thing and you get an upgraded model. You don't really get to do that with kids. Sorry, this one's got a limp. I want to get another kid. I want maybe a left-handed pitcher.
Do you have
nobody did enough at the cashier to the limp fund, and now it's everywhere.
Remember that in The Simpsons where Homer goes for the bigger brother and he sees the kid crying? Do you have a bigger brother for me yet? Okay, I'll try back tomorrow. And Homer's crying because he's perfect. Do you have him in blonde? No, but I just don't get that though, man. That what the fucking price of science. Medicine, like to go into a lab and like, all right, you got to pay for the scientist. Like I kind of get, but it's done. Like, you've already paid. Like, you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like, the treatment for cancer, sadly, is the treatment we have for cancer. Like, they're not like, we got Dennis Rooney. Dennis, we got this brand new shit here. You're gonna love it. It's in a bottle. It's not as expensive as, like, you know what I mean? It's still the same system. So when you go to places and people are shot up with chemo and fucking they're on these machines and that kind of shit, that's the same shit. And I don't understand why it should cost you fucking nearly $750,000 to fucking fix even if it's an old person. And I'm very like, if they're older, like, all right, they're 92. What's the point? Do you know what I mean? But like, even to fix anybody, why it's so fucking that's so expensive.
I will not go into my liberal rant, but I agree it should not be that expensive, and I'll stop.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive.
There's reasons for it, and the reasons are all very like, you hear them, you go, that sounds evil, and that can't be right, and it's right, and you go, oh, okay.
No. Again, I know what you're going. I probably know the road you're going to go down, and even if you're left or right on that kind of shit, like I'm talking about, like there's a joke of Flight of the Conchords where Flight of Conchords are hilarious, but all their jokes are through song, and they do this joke about basically the joke is about why are we paying so much for sneakers when they're made by slave kids? Like, what are your overheads? Like, that's the joke in the song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same it goes to the same principle. Like, it's like the cure, or not the cure, but the treatment is the treatment. And I see what you're doing. There's things plugged in. You're shut up with this. You're taking tablets, right? Because you can take chemo through tablets and that kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm staying in your bed, like in your hotel. Like, let's be honest. You're giving me food. I get that too. But like, I could stay a month in an Airbnb. Like, so don't tell me it's like $500 a night to stay in a hospital, because it's fucking not. It's not. You know what I mean? And I'm your shit. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. I you know, and it's, I mean, I hope people listen to this part because they hear my compassionate side. But
Yep. 45 minutes of hate followed by 10 minutes of compassion.
You know what
Ladies
I mean?
and gentlemen, almost Irish. Anybody
I also believe just pull the plug early. No, I'm kidding.
You hear those horror stories too, yeah, about like you get the itemized bill from the hospital and it's like Tylenol, $50. And it's like, why is that allowed?
Yep.
I was in I think it's called an MRI, right? When your whole body goes into the machine, and had an MRI done. And those machines are like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, I believe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I go there, and the whole thing about when you get your MRI, if you've never got one, you have to try and stay absolutely still so that the imaging overlaps, blah, blah, blah. They all line up. And actually, here's a little funny thing. He says to me, he gives me headphones to put on, and he goes, is there any kind of music specifically you want to listen to, like your choice? And I say, whatever you like, man. Because I'm just like, I'm curious what he throws on. He goes, all right, no problem. This fucking guy put on Pink Floyd, Enter the Machine, as I'm being sliding into this MRI machine. And I was like, you slick son of a bitch. But so we're doing the MRIs. I'm in there for like 10, 15 minutes. And he comes in over the intercom and he's like, all good? I'm like, yeah, all good. He goes, okay, listen. We did 5 so far. All of them are good except for the 5th one. You got to stay still. We got to do it again. I said, okay, sorry about that. No problem. And he goes, okay, good. Just try to stay.
Erection?
Huh?
You get an erection? Is that what happened? That's
no, but like in my head, I'm laying there. I'm like, he's a little short with me about that. Like, you got to stay still. You know, I'm like, what's this guy's problem? And then I realized I'm like, probably costs like $900 every time he runs this. You know what I mean? So like, I probably just cost him like a couple $100 because I wiggled a little bit.
The electric bill alone. The electric bill alone. They start the machine. You see the meter just spinning. Like, oh shit!
Yeah, but also, where's your bedside manner, you cunt? You know what I mean? Like, you might find cancer in here, by the way, asshole.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
A nurse. He's not. He has no bedside manner, and they're not expected to. He's a technician. His job.
My one is about the X-rays. Like when I took my son in for a broken arm, and I've been in and out of fucking hospitals for years with broken bits and fractures and shit like that. And I took my son when he fell off the bike and broke his arm, and he was like, again, because he thought like it was my son's first, you know, because you assume it's a kid, it's his first time, and like, so the kids are scared with all this shit. Like, we're going to get an X-ray, and he's like, and here's what he did. He's like, don't worry, it's 100% safe. Dad, quickly out of the room. I was like, what? Fucking, and then me and this guy run behind the room and hide behind the wall.
And they flip the switch.
Yeah, and my son's like, wait, what? Like, again, no bedside manner. Do you know what I mean? I'm not tipping him.
Good, man. Good.
Not
don't tip the X-ray tech.
All
right. Well, that's it. Let's wrap it up. You guys, The Damn Bag on social media. And you can listen to Tremendously Awkward. We haven't recorded an episode in a while, but, you know, if you want to feel like going back, listen to old ones, go ahead.
Dennis Rooney 7 on Instagram. That's really the only social media I'm rocking with anymore. And listen to my other podcast, Netflix Book Club.
Hey, Rooney, would you do us a favor, and can you plug this one every now and then?
This podcast, I was told at the beginning of this podcast that I had no requirements other than
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
But I will try. Yeah, I should repost the stories. I'm sorry. I do sometimes, but I'll try harder.
No, you don't.
Listen to this podcast, everybody.
Hey.
He said at the end of it, the only way you would hear it is if you did listen to it.
Oh, wait. I did plug this on recent recordings of Netflix Book Club. They just haven't come out yet. So, haha.
Mick Thomas on Twitter, Mick Thomas Comedy on Instagram. My other podcast, Cheaper Than Therapy, is going wherever it's on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. May 21st, May 22nd, I am headlining Mohegan Sun in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
May 8th, I'm at Hazelden, Pennsylvania. I probably should have said that. You should go to Soul Joel Comedy and find out more information.
All right, that's cheers.
All right,
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.